3, 2, 1.
You beg for the ball. I can't do anything if I don't get the ball. Hell, I thought he had baseball gloves on. You see how that look? Now everybody's looking at it. Even Eagles fans, even his greatest supporters that say he should be getting the ball, how they looking at it now? I like AJ. I think he's a phenomenal talent. And I said, and my thing was, I said, look, I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm saying keep it behind closed doors. That's the problem. I say when you make it public, people are going to look at you and say, you don't really care about winning. You care about your stats. The Eagles had 4 drops on third down versus the Niners. This was the most third down drops in a playoff game since ESPN began tracking stats in 2006.
Dropping passes at the wrong time.
Ocho, it's not the dropping the passes. It was who was dropping the passes, Ocho. It was the guy that was making the most stink about not getting the ball.
That's why you always got. Hey, you got to stay calm, man.
Welcome to the Onyx Paradox. You locked in with your host, St. Chris. Today we talking A.J. Brown. If you're an Eagles fan, then you familiar with the name. Shit, if you're not an Eagles fan, you familiar with the name. He got to be top 5, and he not 5 receivers in the NFL. But today we talking about how I think we would be a better team without A.J. Brown. As a diehard Eagle fan since birth, I've watched us go through a litany of very, very talented receivers. We never were short of talent on that team. I think one thing that we've always had, though, we've had, like, brotherhood. We never really have a lot of locker room quarrels. You got the T.O. Donovan thing back in the day, and then the Chip Kelly disruption for a couple years. But other than that, like, we always got a tight-knit locker room. And I think A.J. Brown, he puts that in jeopardy. Not only that, I think that one thing to be a distraction, but it's another thing when your play, the reason we excuse the distraction, begins to dwindle. You know what I mean? Drop passes at the end of the season, drop passes in clutch moments. You know what I mean? Let's look back at the 2023 season. 2023 season, we got a new coordinator. That's another problem. We have no continuity in our offense. And it's like he's failing to understand that. You know what I mean? But anyway, we had the Brian Johnson guy come in right after Shane Steichen left. And he's a new coordinator. He's struggling. A.J. Brown has no remorse. Immediately, he just start like crying and whining for the ball. Brian Johnson don't know what to do. This is a Pro Bowl receiver. He about to make me look bad. I got to get this nigga the ball to keep him quiet. So now Brian Johnson force-feeding A.J. the ball, force-feeding A.J. the Brown. That was the downfall of our season. If you remember, we started off strong. It wasn't that bad. And then the downfall was that we never developed an offensive identity, but that's because the coordinators never really felt like they had the freedom to do so. You know what I'm saying? We had so many powerful and talented players on our team that was dictating, the way things were going to go, that when you put in some new rookie coordinator without much experience, he's going to defer. He's going to defer to them. I mean, in fear of losing his job, he's on the hot seat immediately. As the Eagles coordinator, that's the toughest job to have because they expect to win now. And I think AJ made those jobs a lot tougher for Kevin Patullo and Brian Johnson than they had to be, and he derailed those 2 seasons. Yes, this season included. Even down to like I said, the poor play and the drop passes, even with the distractions he gave us and the way the offense was playing poor, we were a few drop balls away from moving on to the next playoff game. You know what I mean? And as much credit as some people want to give AJ for calling out the Eagles' problems and inefficiencies, you got to give him that same level of scrutiny for, adding to those problems by dropping the ball, always causing a distraction. Like, the Eagles will win a game, and we're not talking about the Eagles win. We're talking about A.J. Brown feelings at the end of it. So I just think he's a huge distraction. He's a huge diva. He's not even as good. I'm having a hard time saying that, as advertised, because I think he lacks speed and ability to separate from defenders. I don't love him as my number 1 receiver. I would easily take Smitty and go get a strong number 2 from somewhere, and we could rock like that. We'd be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, put Smitty at number 1. We can go get a T. Higgins, a Rashad Bateman, nigga. We can go get Garrett Wilson. I mean, so many guys we could just go get that are like fringe number one, strong number twos that we can go ahead and put in our offense and move right along like we never missed a beat and be better because we have some sort of brotherhood and we locked in one set goal in the locker room instead of this division that we got. So there's a lot of people taking takes on AJ Brown and what may happen and if we're going to trade him or not. The problem with trading him after or before the June 1st deadline or before the draft anyway is that, you know, we take a $40 million cap hit, and I think if we wait till after the draft, there's a $28 million draft hit. The problem here is that we would love to trade up for some draft capital because trade AJ for some draft capital and probably get a pick in the first, earlier in the first than we already have, and maybe even a second. You could probably get a first and a second in this year's draft for AJ and a player. And so I think that's something like that. You got to set a farm to Philly for AJ because he a high commodity. So that's not even enough. First, second, and a player not enough. They probably want first this year, first next year, a second, and a player. They want some crazy shit for AJ. I already know that because of what it's going to cost us. We got to make sure that, you know, we don't miss that $40 million or we won't miss that $28 million. So I understand the business behind it. I understand the Eagles at this point trying to work things out with him, but we had a long season where you could have been moved him. He been showed interest in wanting to go elsewhere and was speaking down on a winning system and was contributing to us losing. So I would have got rid of him a long time ago. But now that we in this position, listen, we got a deep wide receiver draft. You just seen that combine. There's some freaks in that draft. Open the field, get some speed out there. Open the field up for Jalen Hurts. Get some continuity with this new coordinator. We got a young guy in there. I'm proud about that. Sean Mannion. I know people probably don't believe in him, but him and then they got a good pass game coordinator who came from the Bucks. Them together with this unit, if they stick around and we develop some continuity, at least like a 2-3 year period, man, we could win another 2-3 Super Bowls in the next 2-3 years. So this is high stakes football and business right now, and a decision that got to be made that's very, very vital to the future success of the organization. So I'm hoping we make the right choice. I'm hoping we get off of AJ Brown, but he don't seem like at this point he's starting to change his tune. He see the new moves we making and all that. Whole time we probably making the moves to get rid of you though. So let's see, you know, some of how AJ been feeling recently because his tune has changed a bit according to reports.
But when I got to Philly, man, Philly welcomed me with open arms. You know, that's home, man, and I love them. You know, I love the support. I love the accountability. I love everything else that they do.
Hey, that's one thing Philly gonna do. We gonna hold our athletes accountable, nigga. You don't play good, we gonna let you know. You want some bullshit, we finna let you know.
It just Philly is Philly. You have to be there to understand. You from there, so you understand. Like I'm.
And it's one of them places, Philly, one of them places that really move the needle with their sports teams. Like, our opinion do matter, like, and it do get heard. And if it ain't heard, we will do something absurd.
I'm from near Philly. I gotta claim my city every time because it gets conflicted too much, y'all.
You wanted to be an Eagle at one point.
Yo, we could get into that. Hold on.
We wanted him to be an Eagle. Still, nigga, still. Hey, Michael Parsons, before we got Jalen Phillips, Michael Parsons was on the table. Him, Myles Garrett, we wanted a 5-star elite defensive end. Jalen Phillips might be that, but we wanted one that was already a marquee household name. Michael Parsons is from the city of Philadelphia or its surrounding areas. Saquon Barkley also from the area. So, like, we love them hometown guys.
You can hear it still there. You can hear it still there. So to be honest with you, bro, it was very close. Okay. It was very close. Eagles, before the Jalen Phillips, before all them, it was me. Yeah. It was me. And I was really about to come, but there was one person that I had to play with that if he was gone, I did not want to be there. And that was Jalen Carter. Oh. They wanted the D tackle.
Yeah.
Keeping the Eagles' current asking price for A.J. Brown is reportedly very high. They would want a first-round pick and also a top 100 pick for A.J. Brown services. I mean, he's one of the top wide receivers in the league. It makes sense. Are the Eagles asking for a little too much, though, in your opinion, for A.J. Brown?
All right, quick timeout, people. Look.
Now, what I said we was going to want a first round, a second round, and probably a player. Feel me? That's really right up that alley right there, though.
So why wouldn't we ask that? Mm-hmm. Right? Any team he goes to, they instantly get better. The offense, I don't know what they were the year before, but he gets on the team, they instantly get better in offense. Passing game. Right now, the scheme is different with AJ Brown. So yeah, I'm surprised they're not asking for a little bit more. AJ is that good.
More.
Yeah, I said first round this year, probably a first round next year, a top 100 this year as well with the player. That's really what he could get you.
AJ Brown.
AJ's that good. AJ is a top 5 receiver in football. I've always believed that. I've been team AJ Brown from day one. And in large part why I have so much animosity at times versus Jalen Hurts. I'm like, bro, you holding back AJ Brown. AJ Brown's only worth the first round pick if he's the difference between you and a Super.
Stop saying that. AJ Brown not the kind of receiver that need to play with a Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts plays risk-adverse football and AJ Brown has like one of the lowest separation percentages in the league as a starting receiver. He does not create separation. So it is not easy to throw him the ball. And no, I can't just anticipate you being there because we have no continuity in the offense. A lot of the things they say about Jalen Hurts is so disingenuous and they are professional athletes. They are either stupid or it's intentional.
Super Bowl. Maybe New England Patriots, Buffalo Bills. If A.J. Brown is the difference between you and a Super Bowl, Denver Broncos, he's worth the first round pick. But if A.J. Brown is the difference between 8 and 9 and 10 and 7, he's not worth the first round pick. Because not only are you going to have to pay A.J. Brown, $100+ million, whatever his contract is that you're going to have to now eat up. You also don't have that first round pick who's going to be on a rookie deal for 5 years that you get to own him for. And then on top of that, AJ is 28, 29 years old.
Yeah, he's older.
So it's like, even if you get AJ Brown for 4 years, you're not getting him at 4 years on a rookie deal like you would be getting a rookie for. So AJ's worth the first round pick if that first round pick is a missing piece. Remember, A.J. Brown ended up being the missing piece for the Philadelphia Eagles to help them get to a Super Bowl and inevitably help them win a Super Bowl. But by no means should you give up a first round pick for A.J. Brown if you're like the Arizona Cardinals.
Any team that got a new quarterback, a rookie quarterback, is in the market for A.J. Brown. You know what I mean? Unless they was turned off by the way he was acting in Philly. I think that probably turns away a lot of suitors and probably lowers the asking price for him. Philly probably would want to ideally ask for more for him. But if they were shopping him for real, or if he was of his highest value, Philly wouldn't even be shopping him. We would want to keep him. You know what I'm saying? But he's lowered his value with his behavior and his disinterest in a winning team. He's shown this disinterest and this behavior on a winning team. That does not bode well for him in the market.
Well, I got a question for you though, right? So, a team like the Commanders, right? They'd be a great pick for AJ. Because I don't know if they're contenders, but I think AJ helps them out. They got there 2 years ago. Good quarterback.
You already know. We can go down the list of these guys, right? You got the Commanders could use him. Who else? The Patriots could use him. Who else? The Raiders need somebody. The Ravens. He go to the Ravens. Buffalo. The Chiefs still don't really have a true number one. I guess if you like Rashee Rice, he got bullshit going on though. You know what I'm saying? Racing cars and beating women and shit. He got bullshit going on. Who else could fuck with him? Right now, those are top suitors, I think. The Chargers, maybe. The Chargers, they got Luke McConkley or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But the Chargers is one. It's a lot of teams could use Brass for real. A lot of teams.
Back, you build his confidence up. Another thing, I don't believe about the rookie thing because you drafting a rookie, you don't know what you're really getting. You look good in college. Everybody looks good in college. You know what you're getting. With A.J. Brown, you know what you're getting though. You know if you want to throw the ball around and you got a solid running game, you know what you're going to get with A.J. Brown.
I think there are 5 receivers in this draft and last year's draft that could have gave you more production than A.J. gave you in all his time with the Eagles this year. No funny shit. Like I think his best season was 1,400 yards. I like Terriota McMillan from Carolina Panthers to give me 1,400 yards on a good team when he's the number 1 receiver. You know what I'm saying? I like what was that draft class before him with Brian Thomas Jr.? I'm saying dudes come out every year that are elite, and we know that they're going to be good before they come out. This is one of them classes. They got some nasty athletes from this. This is the fastest draft class all time with everybody considered and their times being average. This is the fastest draft class we've ever seen. There's nothing but freaks in this class, so you can find somebody. Hey, if we can't get a receiver, you know who I want? I want that tight end from Oregon. What's his name? That tight end from Oregon, number 18, to replace A.J. Brown. That would be nasty.
Yeah, but here's the problem. You bring up a team like the Commanders. Here's why I hate a team that's in confusion. Because you need your draft picks. To Shady's point, you don't know what you're getting, but what you get might be better. Y'all remember the old game? I don't know if y'all watched it on Days Live. Price is Right.
Yeah, of course.
Price is Right. You spin that joint. It's like, hey, Shady, do you want this? Or do you want what's behind mystery door number 1 or number 2, whatever the case may be? Sometimes it's worse. Sometimes it's as good as, maybe better. You're probably not getting better than A.J. Brown next year than the next 2 years. But there's a world where you draft a receiver that over the course of the next 5 years, that receiver's rookie contract, he might be able to compete with what A.J. Brown would be able to compete with when you talk about the 4th year and the 5th year from now when A.J. Brown is 32 and 33 years old.
Yeah.
Not to mention, a rookie receiver is $8 million.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown is $38 million. Obviously, I'm exaggerating by maybe 5 or 6 mil.
So our friends Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano right now on ESPN.com have a ton of intel on free agency and trades following the combine. And here's what they wrote about A.J. Brown. They wrote, teams have contacted the Eagles about a potential Brown trade, but word is that Philly's asking price remains too high. This lines up with what I heard about the Eagles' stance. They'd be open to the right offer, but it would have to be a really good one. They don't want to just get rid of Brown or need him off the team for any chemistry reasons. That's from, again, Graziano and Fowler on ESPN.com. That piece.
Okay, that's telling. That means that, by and large, the coaches and the players, yes, he's been a little abrasive and has ruffled a couple feathers, but we don't hate AJ. We love him. We know what he brings. We know that it's coming from a good place. So that's how they feel about it. I'm tired of it, just as a fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? When the news is reported on my team and we just won a game, I want to hear real analytics. Like, I don't want to hear about bro reading no books and shit like that. So I'm over him. But I can see why a team who's trying to win a championship won't get rid of a top 5 receiver in the league if he's still potentially that.
Was from our buddy Dan. Peter, help us with this. What are you hearing about Philadelphia? What should we be expecting?
Howie Roseman's phone line is always open. Howie's only down there in Indianapolis for about 36 hours, but I will tell you that he spoke with all the agents and you get a feel for what they're talking about. And A.J. Brown is firmly a part of the Eagles' future plans. However, this time of the year, Howie Roseman is your king wheeler dealer. So if you want to blow him over with an offer, you can certainly make the offer. But I will come on here on Monday and I will tell you after the combine, there is a lot less of a feeling that they are proactively shopping A.J. Brown. In fact, Sean Mannion's presentation to the Eagles, where he was one of 17 candidates for that offensive coordinator position, was one in which he showed cut-ups of what they could do with A.J. Brown. So I believe A.J. Brown will be an Eagle, but I will also tell you that Howie Roseman's line is always open, and if you want to offer the farm, he will listen.
I am in no way questioning the reporting.
Sounds good. Everybody pretty much on the same consensus here. You know what I'm saying? That he doesn't look like he's being shopped, but how he's going to entertain the idea. If you give him the right offer, he gonna move him. So this really come down to, like, okay, A.J. Brown's available on the trade block. They haven't officially put him there, but these announcements make him available on the trade block. Now, all that got to happen now is somebody actually make an official offer. And so everyone knows the asking price is high. So people are going to go through the draft, look at the draft. It's going to be after the draft that somebody make a move like that. I'm sure of it. I don't think nobody going to make it pre-draft. If they make it pre-draft, it's because the Eagles settled and moved on them.
But I'm questioning whether at the end of the day this is the way this thing winds up going. I don't buy it. I mean, AJ, if we're going to look up disgruntled in the dictionary, there's going to be a picture of a wide receiver reading a book on a sideline. I know they won the Super Bowl that year, but things run their course. There's no way in the world that relationship is working. I don't care what anybody says. This is not about how good a player he is or isn't. At the end of the day, I still believe, at minimum, I believe it would be in everyone's best interest for him to start over someplace else. Annabelle.
Greedy, completely agree, and I'll give you 2 win-wins. First of all, you go to Buffalo, the owner came out and said, we are going to get another receiver. They have the 26th pick in the draft. If I'm the Philadelphia Eagles and I could trade A.J. Brown for the 26th pick, I would take his money and make sure that we extend Jalen Phillips, a great trade they made last year, who played really well for them. And then go draft Omar Cooper. There's going to be a lot of receivers in the draft there.
A lot.
You talk about Doc connecting. How about Mike Vrabel with New England? They're desperate for an outside receiver. 31st pick in the draft. Reunite him.
I don't
A.J.
want no
Brown
31st pick.
So I agree.
Second round
4
pick.
great years with the Eagles. If I'm the Eagles, I'm shifting that money from the wide receiver position to Jalen Phillips, and then I'm going to draft a receiver at the bottom of the first.
All right. So here we go right here, y'all. We projected to have the number 23 overall pick in the first round. That's great. That's great. We got a second and we got a third from New York Jets for Hassan Reddick trade. All right. So we got some shit, yo. And look, what I say, I believe in either the second or late first. If we get 2 first-round picks, we got to grab Kenyon Sadiq. Because I don't know, if you smart, you grabbing this guy, bro. He's a freak. He's a freak. I don't even know, you know what I'm saying, necessarily. And to me, he's a great replacement for A.J. Brown. A possession guy, strong build, and could do all the things. He one of them. He not a receiver though. He a tight end. He like 6'3", 240, freaky. Yeah, we need Kenyon. I like that. This my guy right here because I know how high we picking. My favorite player in the draft is Julian Love. Dirty, but we can't have Julian. So I want this dude, Kenyon Sadiq, and then like they say, the defensive projections at cornerback. I want Avion Terrell from Clemson, but I want him in the second round. If we can't get him in the second round, I just don't feel like he a first round projection. Maybe I need to do some more research. But if we can get Avion Terrell in the second, I'm taking that. Bro, if we can get Kenyon Sadiq late first, Avion Terrell in the second, or vice versa, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. But if we could get them two, we had a good draft. Yeah, so like I was saying, man, I think that we in a good standing as a organization, whether we keep AJ or we let him go. Don't think we have to let him go. I would love if we was able to keep him because he is a dog, but you have to get some sort of commitment from him that he gonna shut the hell up. You know, it's just not a good look. And yeah, the teammates may have bit their tongue and dealt with it the last 2 years, but at some point, it do become a problem, and you don't want that to become a problem in your locker room when your team is trending in the right direction. You made the adjustments with your coaching staff. Your roster is strong. Do not let a cancer in the locker room be the reason that you can't go and get another championship, because that's the reason you didn't repeat this year. It wasn't just Kevin Patullo. Kevin Patullo was terrible. The offense was vanilla as fuck, but we was winning games like that. You know what I'm saying? They just wasn't the way people like to see them, but we was winning them shits. Second, we try to step outside of that, feel me, and we just started to falter, and the chink in our armor was revealed, and people started to expose that. But I think the season could have went better. We could have at least won a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? Had it not been for AJ's antics and his poor play at the end of the season. So, you know, in my opinion, I believe that we should move off of him. I would love if we did keep him though. So I'm sort of conflicted. But I think we can do as good or better without him. But what say you, fam? Let me know. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out.